Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another weekly Poker Showdown brought to you by Party Poker. I'm your host, Jamie Staples. Really exciting show this week because my brother is visiting me from Canada, Matt Staples. Some of you may have heard of him. He's a popular streamer in the Twitch listings, and we get an opportunity to talk in person. So I actually just recorded this a couple hours ago. I think you're really going to like the conversation. Talking about poker, how his last year went. I mean, he had a massive score, so a life-changing year for him in poker, but also the year ahead, Twitch poker industry in general, like how can we best move forward in this game. So it was a really informative conversation, and I think you'll really like it. But before we get into that, let's talk about some of the online and live poker news. Kicking off the online poker news, let's talk about this past Sunday's big game on Party Poker, $5,200 buy-in, and we saw 118 entrants show up to play, creating a prize pool of $590,000. The top finishers both won more than $100,000. Pay and play with a runner-up worth $103,000, while player 1, 2, 3, 4 turned their $5,200 into $144,550. So congratulations to all those players that made that final table. I've played with both of those players before. Definitely struggle against both of them, so I can see how they got the win there. Next, on to the Party Poker Million. Saw 4,953 entrants this week compete for the 1 million prize. As you can tell, that's overlaying by about 47 entries, I believe. So very close to hitting the guarantee on that 1 million guarantee, but just a little bit shy. We'll see if it gets there this week. Mactub1 was the player credited with the victory, padded their bankroll $135,000, $498 for the win, whereas 11 walked away with $124,301. Huge mention to a fellow teammate of mine, Travis, Dramatic Degen Duroc, who booked a $30,630 win for his fifth place in the tournament, right? Yeah, fifth place for $30,630. He did, of course, chop earlier in the year, in the last couple months, in this million, so pretty amazing. Back in November, actually, there you go, for 106K. So this is clearly Travis's tournament. I'm still hoping I can get one. I've only made one day two so far, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep donating to the prize pool. Let's head over and talk about the $530 Six Max Hyper Sunday Supersonic at PokerStars. We saw 760 entrants in this, creating a $387,000 prize pool. The winner ended up being Thomas Mulecker. I think I said that poorly, but I know him better as Wushu TM, a guy that I've played with a lot over my poker life. $63,730 prize for the win there. Congratulations to Thomas Wushu. The 1,050 No Limit Hold'em 8 Max Progressive Knockout Sunday Cooldown at PokerStars drew 594 entrants. That created a prize pool of $594,000. Eventually, it got down to a heads-up between HKS Dragon and Gianluca Speranza, the latter being a Scoop main event champion. I know him better as Takanza. That's a name I recognize from the online felt. Speranza couldn't get the job done this time around and had to make do with a prize worth $31,514, leaving HKS Dragon to collect a combined $109,816. Moving on to the $100,000 Sunday Mega Deep over at 888 Poker. It drew 1,115 players this week, creating a prize pool of $111,000. The top three finishers all secured a five-figure payday. Third place saw Ukrainian Favorodok turn their 109 into $10,871. The deal was struck with only two players remaining. Merning B4N is credited with finishing second place, worth $16,495. And Guliteradent got their hands on $18,181 from the comfort of their home in Brazil. Vamos. Can I get that right? Guitiradent. Gutierrez. Anyone speak Portuguese out there? Please help me. Just phonetically explain to me on the YouTube comments. Please let me know. How do I say this? Nonetheless, congratulations on $18,000 for GU. Moving over to the live poker news now. We have Anton Suarez scooping the Millions UK main event title. 2020 champion from the Party Poker Live UK main event. $1 million prize. Suarez had $228,000 in live tournament cashes before this huge event, but now has a seven-figure prize to his name. I can't imagine what it would be like to actually win seven figures at a live event. That's got to be crazy. I haven't even done six figures before. I can't imagine seven figures. That'd be an amazing feeling. Some 530 players parted company with the $10,300 and created a $5.1 million prize pool that was shared among the top 76 finishers. Such luminaries as Darrow Kearney, João Vieira, reigning WSOP main event champion Hossein Ansan, Faraz Jaka made it into the money, as did Jack Sinclair, Adrian Mateos, and Team Party Poker's Jeff Gross, Roberto Romanello, Patrick Leonard, and Ludovic Gajlik. Keep your eye on thepartypokerlive.com for some exciting new additions to the Millions Tour for 2020. I've been checking some of these out. There's a lot of events up there right now on Party Poker Live, so make sure you head over there and scope it out. All sorts of cool ones, like whether you like the 1K buy-ins, the 3,500 buy-ins, or if you like the 10Ks. So keep your eyes open. One more piece of live poker news. We have Toby Lewis, third year in a row, getting an Aussie million title under his belt. Absolutely incredible. So this year, he took down the Shot Clock 6 Max for 148,000 Australian dollars. That's 102,000 US dollars. In 2018, he took down the Aussie Millions main event. In 2019, he took down a $50,000 challenge title last year. So pretty incredible. 3 pieces of Anton Jewelry Championship ring. Incredible result. 3 wins in 3 years. I would keep going to that one, Toby Lewis. I would keep it up. So congratulations to him. The World Poker Tour returned to Casino Sochi this past Sunday, January 12th, to kick off the highly anticipated 2020 edition of WPT Russia. Running up until Sunday, January 26th, 2020, Party Poker Live Sponsor Festival features a total of 9 events to suit all bankrolls. Headlined by the 1.6 million US dollars. I'm just going to convert into US dollars here. This is easier for me. Guaranteed main event at a $3,100 plus $280 buy-in, while the $4,900 plus $340 high roller is sure to attract the region's best players to the Olympic City this month. Other highlights include an opening and closing event, plus a dedicated ladies and PLO bounty tournament. The last piece of news before we jump into the interview with Matt is a Party Poker update, and that is a brand new software release for Fast Forward on mobile. I've had the chance to test this out for the last couple weeks. I can say it's really awesome. I'm excited for people to try it. You get to play vertically, right? You get to play with one hand, which may not seem like a big deal. You're probably used to turning your phone sideways to play poker. Like that's the way that most places do it. But when you go vertical and you have the touch bar for being able to size, it's just a very simple experience. So I encourage you to try it. If you've tried the spins before in the past, you will have seen the diamonds, the in-game currency to be able to throw things at your opponents. You'll be able to use emoticons, which are sort of brought us into the current age of mobile games. So those sort of features are really cool. But overall, the poker playing experience is just faster. It's smoother. It's better. I think you're really going to like it. So on iOS or Android, you can go check that out right now on the App Store and enjoy Fast Forward with the new update. So with the news out of the way, we're going to hop into the interview now. This just happened a couple hours ago with my brother, Matt. Pretty surreal, honestly, to have my brother on the show and with me here in Edinburgh. I mean, we do this all the time in that we both are poker pros and we both stream on Twitch, but it's still a little bit surreal that we've both taken this path. So it's a bittersweet moment for me. I love having a chat with him about what we do, and I think very insightful as well. If you're new to Matt, essentially his story is he started as an assistant for me when I started streaming. I needed some help with like emails and keeping on top of things. So I paid him and he watched the stream and sort of just did errands for me. And eventually he started playing. I sent him over $10 or something like that. And he would play 2-cent games and 10-cent games. And eventually he started streaming a little bit too on the side. Well, he's actually built up that money. He's never deposited before. He's built up that money to where he is now, which is, over $150,000 bankroll with over 100K score this year or just below. So absolutely incredible. This is all over the course of around 4 years. An amazing story. I couldn't be more proud. And this is a testimony to Twitch Poker as well. A guy that found the game through Twitch, watched my stream, and don't get me wrong, my stream didn't take him the whole way, but got him on a path to become very successful in poker. And I think a great ambassador as well. So I could gush about my brother all day, but I'll just shut up now and let's hop into the interview. We're here now. I have my brother Matt Staples, fellow streamer here on Twitch, also same mother as well.
Yeah.
Real brother.
Team Online.
Team Online Party Poker. He is visiting here in Edinburgh because we got a family trip. We're kind of hanging out.
Yeah. First time checking out Scotland, Streamhouse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't seen my mom and dad for like a year and a half, like 18, 19 months or something.
Yeah.
Because we're obviously other sides of the world, so we're here together. I thought it'd be a great time to have you back on the podcast.
Yep. Second time.
First ever repeat guest. That's a big.
Nice.
It's a big honor.
It's good.
This is a huge podcast already, man. There's millions of people.
This has been some pretty good guests.
We have.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah, no, it's been great. So, had a plan to talk about a bunch of stuff in the poker industry. Lots going on. Lots of questions coming in from Rob Young. We got Bill Perkins spouting off about things. There's just news happening. World Series of Poker is dropping things. But let's start a little bit with you and your poker life.
Sure.
2019. What was 2019 like? Sum it up.
2019, it was like a breakout year, kind of, a little bit. I mean, the start of 2019 is like kind of when my stream was peaking. It's like at the end of 2018, start of 2019 was when I was seeing like my highest numbers that I've been getting, and I kind of followed that way for a long time. And I just started playing high stakes in 2019, so I was kind of getting used to that, like playing. And high stakes at the start of 2019 was like a 215, playing more of those, and like that was the bar that I was at, and then grinded that for a while. It was going fantastic, and then I got signed by Party, which is, I mean, the biggest news in my career. So that also happened in 2019. That was in March, or maybe the start of April. I don't remember. So yeah, everything was just going really, really well. And then halfway through the year, in late May, I like 2.2x'd my bankroll in one day.
Berlin house.
I mean, that was the highlight of my year. I had a $92,000 poker score, and my bankroll started with $8, worked it all the way up to 72, and then overnight I won 92K, and I just doubled it. It's so wild.
That was an insane run. I remember being in the house in Berlin, and you were playing, like, obviously we were playing Powerfest, and like you flicked in a scoop on the side and stuff like that. You run deep in the one scoop, and it's just like,
honestly, I was not part. It was maybe the only one. I was just like, okay, whatever.
It was amazing though, man. Like the vibe in the house is like, holy smokes, like, because you did actually build it up from $7.
Yeah, you sent me a transfer.
Legit. I sent him a transfer. You're a no depositor. 0 times. No. Built it from zero, really.
No, I started to just troll with a little bit of money on mine. Yeah.
And that's been like a pretty crazy 3 years. So, yeah, huge score in the middle of the year. And then since then, how's it been?
Since then, it hasn't been nearly as exciting as like the first half of the year. But I've been consistent. I've been on Twitch. I haven't taken really any trips or anything. I've just been working on my Twitch numbers and trying to get better at poker. I haven't had any good results in the last few months. I actually had my biggest downswing I've had like in the last few months. It's like my first real downswing that like takes a mental toll, and like I'm trying to figure it out and work through it. So yeah, that's new. I've kind of experienced a lot of different things in 2019. But yeah.
I remember the race to 200K bankroll, because we talk about this all the time with Twitch streaming and stuff. We have a difference of opinion. And it's a tough one. So you display your bankroll on stream.
I do, yeah.
And people love it. People come into my chat all the time. They're like, "What's your bankroll, man?"
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Matt, why do you do this?" But you show your bankroll, and so many people get so invested. Yeah. So I'm curious, how has the experience been since like having a downswing, like a 10K, 20K downswing or whatever it's been? Like, has it been tough at times?
It doesn't feel good, obviously. Like, it obviously is not great when, like, every day the number's less, right? And that's kind of the silly thing. I heard Tonka talking about this. It's kind of silly because as a tournament player, you're going to lose most days.
Yeah.
So, like, if somebody's not experienced in tournaments or how the game works, they're going to
kind of free-rolling yourself, man, a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. They're going to come in, they're like, oh, minus 1,100. Oh, minus 1,100. Like, what is this guy doing? He's bad, right? But then, like, for every comment that's like that, I get a few that's like, oh, I love how you display your bankroll. Like, it makes it so much more fun to watch.
Yeah.
And because I've had so many of those comments, that's always in the back of my head. It's like, well, how many people are tuning in to follow the story of the bankroll? And I mean, people get into poker because it's fun, but like the money part of it is huge. Like, you can't get around that. So like following somebody's money progress, up or down, minus or whatever, like that plays a big part in how exciting it is. Like
I think that's the biggest part. Like that's the mass majority of why people get into poker today is like that dream of big money, big score, exciting. So absolutely, I think it's like such a good journey to follow. Your race to 200K, and like it was the race to the 100K, and you just smashed that in a day when you hit that score. So it's really interesting, and I really admire you and Pav for doing it because it's just extremely transparent through the ups or downs. It's something that like I don't want to take on. I'm just like, my job's hard enough as it is streaming. But you and Pav like just do it. People dig it. So I think it's really sweet. All right, so what are you thinking about early 2020 here? What are your thoughts with poker going into the year?
New year doesn't change too much for me. Like just the turn of the year doesn't change much of my game plan. It does make you think about like trying to do new things. I'm trying to figure out what the next step is in my stream to maybe, make some progress. Like I feel like my stream's been at the same level for a lot of the last year, and it hasn't really been changing much. So just trying to think about new ways to do it, changing up the strategy, maybe playing a bit higher stakes or selling action to some higher stakes, or just like figuring out what I could maybe do differently to move up a step, basically. Yeah. I'm not sure where that is. I'm happy with what I'm doing, so that's mainly what I'm going to keep doing is just the status quo. But yeah, I'm always thinking about new ways to, jump to that next step and try to get to the top streamer,
Yeah. I think there's a huge evolution from no Twitch to Twitch, and then it's been fairly incremental. So I think like trying to find that format that's really going to bang or pop and people love to watch, like that's an illusion, like an exciting thing to think about.
2020 live poker, thinking about it, not a lot. My strategy has always been like focus on Twitch, focus on the online, because that's what I'm good at. That's where my business is, right? But I haven't played any live in like years and years, and I mean live poker is a big part of the game of poker.
It's a bigger part of the game. I mean, it is. Like, it's bigger. It's a lot bigger than online poker.
Yeah, it's bigger. So it'd be nice to like get some experience on live and go to some of these party poker stops and like meet people, meet some of the team pros that aren't part of online. And so I want to go to a few stops. I don't know what they'll be yet, but a little bit of live poker in 2022.
Yep. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, we talked about this off camera a bunch, but I think from a productivity point of view for the game of poker, like online content is so important. Yeah. That's, my philosophy. I know you have a similar one as well. It's just like if normal video games aren't popping off YouTube and Twitch, they're just not very relevant in the culture of younger people. So I think it's super important for poker, and it's like how online poker is going to continue to thrive, and even live poker going forward. But live poker is a way bigger thing.
It's huge.
It's really big. I was streaming a live poker tournament the other day on my channel. I had all sorts of people, watching that would never watch my show. Yeah. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about the World Series of Poker, actually. Yeah. They just released some of their schedule, so I want to get some of your takes on it. First of all, just in general, what do you think about the World Series of Poker?
Well, it's a big deal, obviously. I've never actually been. Like, I've been able to play there for a few years. I've never actually gone down and experienced it yet, which is, like, another thing I was thinking for live in 2020. Like, maybe it's the year to do the whole World Series thing. Go down and play the main, play some of the events.
You're not far in Calgary. You can drive your Audi. And,
it's always that do I stream or do I take the trip? Yeah. That's the other thing about live is that, like, people in your stream, that's, like, one of the only things where they won't be mad about, like, if you leave. They're like, oh, you're going to play the World Series, or you're going to play this event? Like, that's sick. Like, keep us updated.
Right, yeah.
Like, I remember last summer when the World Series was going on, people were in my chat and they were like, why aren't you there? I was like, hey, I'm streaming for you, man. Like, why are you telling me to go down? But yeah, it seems like it'd be a lot of fun and like something that I would definitely like to do once, but in terms of how it actually is, I can't tell you because I haven't been. So.
Is it prestigious to you, like having a bracelet, or is there glory around it?
I mean, a little bit just due to the viewer base. Like they find prestige in it, so like sort of I do too. Like it's not myself. Like I don't really want to win for a bracelet or anything like that, but I know other people really care about it. And maybe if I did go down and play, I'd feel more, sentimental about like winning a WSOP event. But for me, it would just be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So they've released a schedule. There's 25 buy-ins at $1,000 or under, which has been dubbed the value menu, which I thought was a very interesting name.
Value menu.
Value menu. Yeah.
For which stake? Which stake and under?
$1,000 and under bracelet events.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there's going to be like an online bracelet schedule as well. So I know you haven't played there much. You don't play live much at all. But what do you think about that strategy? Because when I think World Series of Poker, I think 10K, I think like 5K 6 max, a few 1Ks and 1500s for like the everyman, like myself when I first started playing. But now it's like, it seems like a third of the schedule is 1K to 400.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, my first thought is like, what is it going to do to, is it going to be less big events in like in turn? Because there's this value menu, is there going to be less high stakes events?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. See, like that would be my only thing.
It's May 26th to July 15th. Those are the dates. So there's about a month and 3 weeks there.
Yeah. I mean, my first thought is like, that's awesome because I don't understand how people can play so many high stakes events. Like, I don't know how people can afford the stakes, like, because I play online. I'm like, okay, I'm going to maybe play a 500 this week.
Right.
And then the live events are like, oh, 2,500, 3K. It's like, how are people playing these?
Mm.
So, like, in that sense, I feel like it would be awesome to have lower stakes events to still, like, chase the prestige or whatever. But I'm just curious if there would be negative, in terms of getting rid of some of the main tournaments that normally run. But I'm sure it's fine.
Why is that? Why does it work like that where online, a $500 tournament is like a high stakes, like, battle, but live, it's just a punter fest where you're just in there firing chips around?
I don't know. It doesn't
make sense.
I don't have the answer. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Because it'd be really great if there's just like 1Ks that a bunch of people played that were just really soft.
Is it because it's an experience? Is it because you get to actually go play, like, one-on-one, and you get like 8 hours in a space?
Yeah.
Whereas online, it's not that at all.
Well, I mean, I wanted to talk about this a little bit more later on in the podcast here, but let's just jump into it. You hit on experience. Rob Young has been tweeting a lot about recreational poker players, like your average Joe poker player.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's really trying to solve the problem of, like, how can we get recreational poker players to have a good experience playing online and want to play online more than they are. You just hit on experience, but do you have any ideas in regards to what they're looking for, or what, the poker world or party poker or what have you, or we could do to help?
Yeah, it's obviously a very tough question. Like, it's been circling around Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
And pretty much everyone's talking about it. Like, how do we figure this out?
Right.
I don't have any immediate answers. I think about how I got into the game. It came from a place of, like, not having money and, like, thinking it could be cool to make some money, like, through the strategy of it.
Yeah.
Like most people, I would imagine. Yeah, I don't know. I think Party Poker's doing some cool things with, like, the Million. Like, the Million having day one, day 1B, day 1C.
Bunch of options to play. Yeah.
Like, a bunch of different days to have this big prize pool. And I know, like, big prize pool is the first thing that comes to mind. Like, it's fun to play for big prize pools.
Yeah.
Because it's like, because to be a really good poker player, really successful, you have to work really hard. But nobody likes that idea. They don't want to have to work super hard to make a lot of money. So that's what big prize pools eliminates. It's like, I can do this in one tournament.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And bypass, even though that's not how it works. But so I like that they're
sometimes it does work that way, but not on average, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. The 20 million guarantee that just popped off. That type of thing. Like, you were, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4.
Yeah.
And the massive tournament, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's endless things. It's fighting against the stream in that regulation worldwide has made it so that there's smaller player pools, and it's getting difficult. Like, good players get better, and games aren't going to get easier. It's not like people get worse at CS:GO over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, people are going to get better, which is going to create a bigger gap between, your first time poker player and the elites. That's just how it is. For me, I think you're right, man. That the goal and the dream, it is the dream, and for some people that's becoming a millionaire. For some people that's winning $10,000. For some people that's like holding their own in a big tournament. But the dream is like more and more difficult over time because of just how the structure of the game is. So I agree with you. I think there's got to be like some different goals that are established, because I think if you strip all of the money, if you strip the dream out of poker and you're left with just a game, there's not a lot of people enticed to just the game.
Yeah.
Right. There isn't much built on that premise of like, this is actually fun and like I have things to work towards that aren't money based.
Yeah.
And I know no one's playing for that reason right now.
Yeah.
But the potential exists for that to be developed to where people would actually have fun playing for other purposes other than money, just giving additional like goals and things to work towards.
I mean, there's plenty of games that the goal has nothing to do with money.
Mm-hmm.
Most games have no money in them at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the only.
It's just finding a way to. I mean, I don't think you want to remove money as an aspect from poker. It would just.
It becomes something different. Yeah.
But adding a layer to the game on top, another incentive on top.
Yeah, I feel it's like just making the car, It's like, we want faster and faster horses by adjusting rake and by like adjusting, entry, re-entry, we'll talk about a bit.
Yeah.
But like there needs to be a whole different thing outside of that for a different group of people that aren't playing yet or aren't interested in what we're doing already in poker. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's a tough one, though. It's a big problem. I don't envy Rob Young and Jonathan Little, who he announced is going to help him with this project, because it's just like trying to figure out how to get players on the site and excited about playing poker. Money seems like the only avenue to really do that right now. So.
I just thought about something. Now, when it comes to poker, you can't advertise to minors.
No.
Right?
Yeah, no.
You're advertising to adults.
Yeah.
And most of the games that we're talking about are the games that are popular. Aren't most of the player bases kids when we're talking about like video games, or is that just statistically wrong?
I feel like it's not, because the average age of Twitch user is much older than 18.
Yeah.
It's like 25, 26.
What's the average age of a poker player?
Like
online?
28, 29.
28, 29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I still feel like the market between 18 and 26 is like huge, like bigger than 18 and under.
Bigger than 18 and under.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about like adding a layer, whether it's like flashy or whatever. I'm not saying it is. I'm just trying to think about how other games do it.
Yeah.
Like visually appealing or like quick release, like this is fun.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that applies to poker players, but no, you're right though. It is a little bit old. Not quite as old as I'm making it out to be. Yeah.
I talked to one of the guys we both know, Brynjar, about this question and trying to like pick his brain about what he thinks about things. He talked about World of Warcraft, which I've never played before, but he described like the old version of the game as basically unplayable. Like if you just go back and you play the first game that came out, like you're not going to have fun. But people built all these side missions and group things on top of the original client to make it what it is, where people are still playing it, 20 years later.
Yeah.
Which is pretty insane for a video game, that's the case.
True.
So, I don't know. Maybe there's something like that for poker, but people are trying anyways. I know people are interested, and hopefully we trend in the right direction.
Yeah.
So,
have you heard any good ideas that stuck out to you from anyone?
In terms of like specific things that, like specific innovations with tech or
just
like
incentives? Ideas that like, because it's been talked about so much. Like I said, I didn't have anything specific to add really.
Right. There's so many, I don't even know how to parse through like specifically what it is. But I think it comes down to having the average poker player feel as if they have a chance and they're not going to get chewed up. Yeah. Which, when I think about a cash game, I think about hopping in a $500 cash game. I think I'm going to get chewed up by those guys.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hop in and play 500. I'd probably do it more on my stream if I didn't think those guys were going to crush me, but I do think they will.
Right.
So it becomes tough to justify a punt. So how do you get rid of that? That's what I don't know. Not sure. It's tough. Yeah, it's a tough thing. What do you think about re-entries? Rebuy, re-entries.
You know, I've never thought about them much as a problem, but I do understand the issues with them, like allowing, you know, because you enter a prize pool and you knock out a pro and it's like, nice, like he's gone from the tournament. I don't need to deal with him. This tournament just got easier, and then boom, he's right back in.
Yeah. But
the way I've always looked at it is like, if I assume I have enough of a chance to win on my first entry, I should have enough of a chance to win past late registration period. So it's never deterred me, but I can understand why it could deter players. So, I think, re-entries being allowed to grow the prize pool to ultimately make it a bigger tournament. I feel like that, for a lot of, you know, are all recreationals thinking about re-entries? Do you think it's a big problem?
I don't know if they know.
That's what, because I never thought about it.
Yeah.
But maybe that's because I'm just a different player.
I didn't think about it either. I think you see it in headlines, right?
Yeah.
You see it when someone wins the tournament, and they re-enter like 5 times, like Alex Foxen did. You know, to me, when he won the WPT, I was just like, well, yeah. I mean, he's allowed to re-enter. I don't know if it was 5 or 4 or 3 times or what exactly it was. I'm like, well, you can't be mad at him. Like he busted a $10,000 poker tournament. He took $10,000 from his pocket. He's like, all right, I'll try again. Yeah. Like within the rules, nothing wrong with that. But people lost their minds about that concept, you know. Yeah. So I've never really thought about the re-entries, but I do understand, you know, a millionaire that's good at poker, being able to enter 5 times, he gets to exert his edge 5 times over the field.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I understand that as a problem. I do think like the tournament being bigger, I think is more of a plus for a lot of players. And like for me, like the way I would think about it, like I would rather have 30K up top than 20K up top.
Right.
With
re-entries.
With re-entries. And I'm thinking about, like I was talking to you earlier about how bigger prize pools are, like just for fun players and recreationals. Just seeing that bigger prize pool is huge. Right. And I think, I don't know. I'm just guessing. I just don't think a lot of people focus on like, oh, these pros are going to be re-entering. I think they're more focused on like what they're doing in the tournament and stuff. But the fact that it's an issue at all, some people must be having a problem with it. So,
well, there's some level, I think, of like what you say as opposed to what you actually feel in the moment and how it influences decisions, kind of like what you're talking about there. So Rob has been tweeting about that a lot, Rob Young, about like, you know, would you prefer one re-entry on these events or no re-entries? Yeah. I was thinking main events, it'd be interesting to try just a pure freeze out. But then side events, you know, like, why not on a side event? Because it's not prestigious, is it? A $1,000, you know, 6-max side event. What's the big deal about a re-entry?
Kind of a random tournament.
Yeah. It feels like some tournaments to me are about finances. They're about money only, like a stock market. Like you're in there to try and print money. Yeah. And then some tournaments mean something more for whatever reason. They just do.
Sure.
And those ones, I see people's arguments.
Yeah.
Because you can buy a higher likelihood of winning the tournament, a higher percentage.
No re-entries adds a little bit of drama.
It does.
Because you don't want to bust if you can't get back in.
Oh, man.
Like even just like streaming. Like if you know you only have one bullet, and let's say this tournament only happened once a month.
Right.
It happens once a month. Your Chad knows about it. You're psyched about it. It's a big buy-in.
Yes.
If you can't re-enter, it's a way bigger deal. The pots you're playing, even though you're gonna play the same, it's still a bigger deal. Yeah. So it does add. Yeah, it does add something. Not being able to get back in.
Do you have a memorable moment from your stream where like you hyped up a tournament or it was a big spot and just like quickly like out of
there? Man, I don't know. I can't think of anything. Like I've only played a few big events and like I've managed to run pretty well in them, honestly. No, I can't think of too much. No. Right. Have you had one?
I've had a few.
You played the Millions online just recently.
Yeah, I had some okay runs in that. That was fine. I did break 2 entries. Yeah. But I played EPT Malta and lasted like 3 or 4 hands.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Flew to Malta from Canada. That was a long trip to bust in 3 hands. And the WPT Online, actually, the Dust Till Dawn WPT, I hyped up, got a seat like 2 weeks before. Like, here's the start time, one tabling. And just like, I just didn't win a hand and then lost a flip. I was like, this is the most boring run ever. I was like, oh man, that's rough. So, let's talk about Twitch a little bit. Tonka P is back.
He's back.
He's back in action after a year off.
Just random.
He's back in
Just
there.
randomly.
Did you expect it? Did you see it coming?
Well, no. I mean, he really went off the radar completely. I mean, I think I do think it's cool that like he's like, okay, I'm done streaming full time, and that's fair. You know, if you're done streaming, you're done streaming.
Yeah.
But it's cool that he comes back to stream because he still kind of wants to. Like, that's cool that he comes back for his community and pops it off, and apparently does very well.
His community has been lurking. It's like it's been a hibernating bear.
Yeah,
dude. And he is awoken the destruction on
People
Twitch.
People were craving, like, they were craving something like Tonka. Clearly,
yes,
that's what that's what I've got from it. It's like,
right,
like people seemed like relieved when he was back.
They're just like the straight edge party poker team, the straight edge poker stars team. Like, we need Tonka. Yeah, I can see it too, man. Yeah. I was pretty surprised to see him back too, but I mean, smashing it. He made a few deep runs in the winter series that's been running. Yeah. And it's really livened up the streets. Like, I feel the jostling between streamers a little bit more now too. It's just like, okay, all right, we're back in action. This is cool.
Yeah, it feels a little bit old school.
It does.
Like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it does. That's true. Listing as well, like the poker, the strength of the poker listing, I think, is in a really interesting spot and one we haven't seen before. It's different than any makeup because I think when we first started, it was the Wild West. This is how I felt about it. Jason Somerville, and then I kind of hopped on, but it was just like anyone could hop on and it kind of popped off if you were consistent.
Yep. Yeah.
And then we had the PokerStars monopoly almost, where it's just like they kind of had it. But now we've seen so many companies. Party Poker Team Online, 12 members currently and growing of streamers. And then we've seen GG have a team of streamers. We've seen Natural 8 have a team of streamers. We've seen a bunch of different companies invest. ACR have a team of streamers. So you look around the listing now and there's more people affiliated with the poker site than ever before. Yeah. So it's really interesting how things have played out. And yeah, what do you think about it? Like, does it feel different over the last couple of years for you?
It's super diverse. I've always, for the first few years, I didn't really associate myself with the listing. Mm. I was just trying to get up to a level where I had a consistent viewer base, and it's only really since the second half of 2018 where I felt like I was a part of the listing, like as a legit entity. So. So yeah, the first few years I wasn't, I followed along, but I didn't really feel like I was a part of it. So yeah, it does feel like some streamers are coming back out of the woodworks, and it's feeling pretty competitive. A lot of viewers on the listing these days. So yeah. We saw Jason Somerville actually tweet just like 2 weeks ago that he ended his relationship with PokerStars, but he talked about he hasn't been able to stream in the U.S., but now he's gonna like get back to streaming a bit of poker. Yeah. Which is crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. That's like, I understand Tonka. Carver coming back is wild. Mirko's back, man. The bell is going to make an appearance. Yeah, he streamed a few times. I didn't catch it yet. Did you see any of it? I haven't seen it. I've seen the Twitch chat plays poker. Right, yeah. Which has been a thing. It hasn't got as much recognition yet. I think that it deserves, but it's pretty cool. It is a cool idea. Yeah. Yeah, it takes a lot to set that up. So it does, yeah. I mean, I think it really originates from Running Up Reno, like the IRL streaming we were doing that one year. True. Like, it worked. Yeah. True. You say that like Carver. So true, man. True. So yeah, I mean, basically, it sweating the hole cards and stuff. I always thought that one of the really important parts of that game, for it to work, is going to be the other people at the table too. Like it. The whole crew has got to be popping off in terms of entertainment for the stream. You know what I mean? The other members, like, that are not Twitch chat? That are playing on the table as well, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they have as in, like, talking to each other or talking to Twitch chat? Yeah, they have to be, like, in on the stream almost. Yeah.
Because it's not like the broadcaster can talk to Twitch while they're playing.
Right. Yeah.
So it has to be angled in a way where it makes sense for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. I think with the they did have a commentator alongside, right? There was a commentator, then the camera, and the Twitch. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a nice way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if it could pop off, get a few thousand viewers, I think it'd be fun, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think so too. People just need to know how it works.
It's
like
cool.
they need to figure it out. They need to get incorporated into it. So
I mean, I think it's not in the future, live poker streaming on Twitch could be the thing. Right now, it doesn't work because of delays and rules. But if something magic happens, live poker tournaments streaming live with these streamers that everyone likes, I mean that's what people want.
Like, I mean it's just a ticking time bomb until someone figures that out. I 100% agree with you, man.
Yeah, it'd be huge.
Yeah, because the difference between the community of people and the audience of online poker players compared to live, probably like 10-1, just because everyone's seen a movie, you know, they've seen Molly's Game or they've seen Rounders or if they've seen poker on ESPN if you're from the US or wherever.
Yeah.
So they understand that, but they probably haven't watched online poker content.
Yeah.
Right. So 10-1 on average. I think the same thing could happen on Twitch. I think it could. You know, it's just the regulations, like getting around real money gaming and identity, and casinos aren't on the cutting edge on that front, are they?
No, not at all.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if things work out. By the way, so this is the first time we've ever done this podcast also on Twitch.
Yeah.
It's live. So if people have any questions for Matt, feel free to send them in. We were just sitting here, both as streamers, and I was like, oh, this is stupid. So we should probably just stream it as well.
Should do this live.
So we can take any audience questions. But I want to bring up a point. We didn't mention BBZ either, but another great poker pro.
Yeah,
stream.
BBZ. Well, that's the thing about Twitch is like a lot of like good players. Like that's a big difference.
Yeah.
There was no good players when it started that wanted to stream.
No.
There was no reason to.
I mean, Carves was a killer. Don't get me wrong. Like high stakes.
Yes. Right.
But like online grinders, like up to
date.
I
guess it's more like the persona.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. Like a not an entertainer, but like just purely like a sick high stakes player. And over time, you just saw like people to pop up. I mean, No Limit Gaming pretty much secured every German sicko in the high roller scene, and they just got all of those guys like popping on every once in a while. And like BBZ. There's also a market for people like BBZ who are just like really good at the game, playing high stakes, like really sick players, and it's clear because he grew super fast.
Yeah, man.
He grew super fast.
I mean, BBZ. I would put like BBZ and like Raise Your Edge in like similar categories in terms of the type of content they make. Like super informative. Yeah. They really know what they're talking about.
Right.
And like people get to watch a great player play high stakes. You know.
Yeah.
The thing that's pretty cool as well is like Tonka is in that group as well, playing 5K 6 max, 1K 6 max sit and goes. But then he can also troll with the boys. I think he's really good at that.
Yeah.
So
true that. Yeah.
He's got a nice crossover there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting how that works. I think there's more viewers for that type of content because a lot of poker players are watching poker, like they want to improve themselves.
Yeah.
As opposed to just people on Twitch. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it just keeps circling back to like, people want to make money. Like these guys are playing for a lot of money and they're good, and it's the dream. Just it's a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think there's a lot of value in the non-money part though too. Like I've found that from sponsorships and from relationships, like the value of people not just searching how to become like a professional, but just people that want to have fun playing poker.
Yeah.
That's a really valuable thing in the poker listing and in the poker world.
Yeah.
Like those people are important and they're the sought after people. And it's also what's going to help our game grow, I think, too, so there's something to that. But anyways, when you're not streaming poker, I'm going to read some of these questions before you get to this.
Sure.
Who are you watching on Twitch?
I'm watching chess. Only watching chess basically these days.
Right.
Yeah. Like besides poker streams, like I do pop into streams on poker usually. I'll check who's doing well or whatever, but yeah, chess. I got into chess like 5 months ago and I'm low key obsessed with it.
Right.
Yeah, so like all the top chess streamers I've kind of got in their communities, and I watch all of them. So that's where I'm at.
Have you played any chess on your stream?
I've never played chess on my stream. Maybe on one break.
Right.
Because I don't know. I'm just learning. I'm figuring it out, and I should learn on stream. But I mean, I'm always playing poker. But...
Man, why aren't you doing it? I don't get it.
I'm just playing poker always. I'm just always playing poker. Yeah, and like when I'm done playing poker, I'm usually just tired. But
yeah.
I was thinking about chess as a stream, and I was thinking about how I started poker so bad, but people watched. Like they watched me go from bad to okay to better, right? And I was thinking chess could definitely do the same thing. Right. I think people would watch that. Yeah. Like rated 1,000 to... The thing is, it takes years and years and years to get like good at chess. Longer than poker, way longer than poker.
Yeah, man. I think that's gold. Like I've learned that over time. I watch XQC all the time right now. Like I have 3 mainstays on Twitch: XQC, Summit, and Casino Daddy. Those are like my 3 core for different things. And XQC was saying the other day, he was just like, I figured it out, chat. You just want to laugh at someone. Like you just want to see them make mistakes, and then you want to like laugh at them. And I think like screwing up in poker or in chess, like people eat it up. They love it. They
love it, but we just talked about how people want high stakes content and crushers. So that's literally the opposite point.
True. Okay. Well, things work. Maybe it's about volume then. I don't know.
Volume,
Yeah, that could be it. So we have a question coming in here from the chat. MD Gorns asking, what's your guys' sleep schedule given the late night playing and streaming? What's a regular day look like? Take us through. Open to close, Matty Ice.
Open, wake up at between 6 to 8:30.
That sounds so good, man.
Yeah, it is nice.
That sounds so good.
I was actually thinking about that today. In the last 3 or 4 months, the latest I've woken up is 11:30 a.m. Like, that's the latest.
Wow.
Yeah. That was after Berlin, like when it was just 6 a.m., 7 a.m., like sun coming up. When I got back to Canada, I've just been, early. So I wake up early, usually start my stream between 8 and 10:30. After I eat breakfast, shower, then I stream for as long as I want to. I don't have a super strict streaming schedule. Like, it just depends how I'm feeling that day or how well I'm doing. And then I usually chill for half an hour to an hour after the stream's done. Eat some food. Then gym at night. Yeah, those are like my consistent. So that's like most of the day. Some days I'm hanging out with my girlfriend. Some days I'm just working, and that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Legit. That's a good day. It's super clean. I like it a lot. Yeah, I think that's really good.
Study sometimes too, not as much as I should.
We have a question here from Boozy Susie. The problem with chess is no one really wants to watch it, do they?
True. That's dumb. That's silly. I'm not gonna say it's dumb.
I've never watched chess on Twitch, but like, is there a big community?
I mean, there's chess streams that are way bigger than poker streams.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Chess. There's so many popular chess streams. It's silly, and it's like people think chess is boring, but it's like one of the longest running games, and it's one of the most intricate games. And the other thing is there's a huge poker and chess crossover. Right. Huge. I haven't connected with any other communities on Twitch, but there's like a lot of chess streamers that interact in my community. Like we host each other. Yeah, they're super similar. I mean, and I think chess, I'll be honest, chess is hard to watch if you don't know the rules.
Right.
Because you don't know.
It's not approachable at all.
No, because you don't know what's going on. But if you play the game, it's very exciting to watch good people because you're like, oh wow, that move was brilliant, or I didn't see that, or wow, that's a cool idea. And there's rating as well, which is like a super attractive part of the game. It's like your rating goes up or down. So that's alone in itself exciting. Like it's kind of like my bankroll. Like people tune in to see what my bankroll's at. They'll tune into a chess streamer to see what the ratings like. Yeah. You know? So I think, if you don't know how to play chess, it can be boring for a lot of the streams. But if you play, it's really good, yeah.
We were talking about this the other day in regards to poker, just to jump back for a second. Do you think a rating of just pure profit, like let's say there was a leaderboard, 3 months, people opt in, so they have to choose to join the leaderboard. I don't know if there's prizes, I don't know if there isn't. Yeah. But it's just profit. They're just like, I'm going to share my plus minus for the next 3 months on a public leaderboard. Here's my username. Yeah. Boom, go. Do you think I would sweat it hard?
For sure.
I'd love it.
Yeah. I mean, I think like leaderboards and rating is like the best. It's like the best part of every game.
Why has no one done it yet in poker?
I mean, I think there's like one obvious drawback is that people want to make money, and if they're really good, they don't want to show how much they've made in case people are like, oh, I don't want to play this guy.
Right.
So that's like, okay, that could deter some people. But then also, you know, if the site or whatever is making aware to people that they're down, whatever, or maybe, you know, but you can do it so that they don't show anybody in the negative. You only profit. So if you're negative, it doesn't show.
The negative is so fun though. The negative would get really toxic if you're a streamer and you're just stuck 25K, like you just get pummeled.
Well, that's my daily life. So that's every stream. So I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I mean the point like I see in the chat here, Rystack saying like poker works because everyone thinks they have an edge. If people opt into this and they just see that 90% of the leaderboard is stuck of money after 3 months, they're gonna be like, oh damn, this might be hard actually.
Yeah.
To do.
Well, yeah, I'm worried. Like I think it would make it a lot of fun. I mean, I think of every game I play. You think about the rating, and like you're playing to like see like if you can get to that next level.
Levels,
yeah, you want to get to the next level. That's why you play almost any game is progression, right? So it's like a no-brainer for poker. Every time I log on my stream, I would check the leaderboards. I'd be like, okay, where am I at for this week on profit? And like I would show the stream and everything, and it'd be like another thing to sweat. I think it's just another. It's like how my bankroll is on my stream. People like following along with numbers up or down.
Yes.
So having all these numbers on the client or whatever would be. I mean, I think it'd be very attractive.
That's what I did for tournament poker as well. It was just like my bankroll dictated what I could play, reasonably. So like I would just move up and down based on my bankroll, and that was levels for me. Yeah. Like I get to fire 55s, I get to fire 109s, I'm back down to 22s. Like that was it, right? Yeah. So. Tournament poker, you can like gamify that and like moving up and down in stakes. That is what's fun, isn't it? That progression.
Progression is it's big.
So you got to make progression. Progression has got to be the thing.
Yeah, like having a number of final tables. Would there be like prizes?
Even cashes is fun.
Cashes, anything to be like, okay, I'm gonna go for this week, or like I'm close.
Yeah.
Like let's say somebody's 5 cashes off.
Yeah.
The number one spot.
You're grinding.
Then they're gonna play that day.
You're grinding.
You're gonna 100%. Play for
100%
for sure. Yeah.
But then, do you want to keep this, right? Like if you win a leaderboard, you need people to know. If a tree falls, and no one hears it,
you need like a badge or something. Yeah. Badge cabinet or trophy cabinet.
Something.
Yeah. Something. You got one.
I do have one. Yeah, it's reworked. We got a new schedule in Party Poker, man. Yeah. We have like. So many gladiators now. We have 15 gladiators, so I can have a gladiator only page. They're all 6 max. People are going crazy for bounties. Yeah. What do you think about the gladiator late night?
I like those tournaments. Yeah,
they're fun to stream.
Yeah, they're good, and it's a nice wrap to the day. Because they're still big, but they're a little bit quicker, and it's a nice way to wrap up the stream for sure.
It is unique, I will say that. I think it's very unique because. I think back to the PokerStars schedule when I was sponsored by them for 4 years before I came over here to party. Yeah. Their schedule was like very smooth. There was not like very changes in like theme almost. Yeah. And it feels right now, where it's like at the end of the day, it's like we are knockout gladiator time. Like let's play some 6 max hands. We're hunting bounties. It's really fun. Yeah. And it almost gives like a flavor to the day.
Yeah, you can tell which part of the day you're in based on the tournament.
You can.
For sure.
You can.
Yeah. So do you like how Party does it like that?
I do. I mean the schedule has changed a lot. Like
a ton.
Rob loves talking about tournaments. Like he's talking about them all the time. There's a great tournament team. Patrick Leonard has a great input as well, and like I'm sending input whenever I can think about it. But it's changed so much over the past year. Like it used to have the deep stack and the mix max and the Terminator, right? Remember the Terminator and what was the other one? Classico, yeah. Yeah. And now those tournaments are gone and it's a different structure. Yeah. But I think we've upgraded a ton from where we were back then because the volume is easy. Like there's just
so much volume.
There's tons of tournaments to play. They're fun. They're big. Like it's good.
Yeah, I mean that's the nice thing. Like if you like party poker,
Mm.
then you can play there all day with party tournaments. You don't have to substitute anything else in.
Yeah.
And that's
Because
nice.
we do it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're on the team. We're not contractually, we don't have to.
No.
We set a rule for our team, like within certain hours we're going to play on party poker, but
Yeah.
it's not like in any of our contracts or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we have enough to play in the main hours, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's been a big upgrade. Like I'm thinking when I started back last March on Team Online, like that schedule compared to this schedule, I'm way more impressed with this schedule.
Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, it's good that they're trying to change stuff.
It was a bit harder back then too to find enough tournaments. Like you'd flick in some 5s and some 11s sometimes.
Yeah.
Whereas it's smoother, so yeah, we'll see. Here's a contrarian question from Ryan B. We're going there. Ryan B, is there anything you and Matt don't like about party poker? Now I'm going to rephrase because we're on the team and we both don't want to get fired. But what do you think party poker needs to improve going forward?
It would just be software for me. It wouldn't be, because I think they're tackling the right questions. They're asking like, what do recreationals want? What can we do to improve the player pools? What can we do to improve the software? Like they're actively trying to do everything, and they're changing the schedule. So I like all that. But the current state of the software, mainly just the lobby, like just how smooth it is to register tournaments, like the way they pop up. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. Just making the lobby a bit smoother would be really nice. Yeah.
I think visually it's a lot better than it was, a year ago. I think it looks a lot better. We use party caption, which helps it sort of smooth out a bit.
Yeah.
But it is a little laggy and slow. Like technically,
yeah.
Going through tournaments, you'll click a filter, sometimes it'll lag for 2 seconds. Like that makes a big difference at the end of the day.
Yeah.
For me, it's the gamification stuff. I'm biased as a streamer, but I just think there's a whole nother category of poker players out there that will play it like Candy Crush.
Yeah.
And they won't care about the money. They'll want the achievements, and they'll deposit to get achievements.
Yeah.
Not to make money. I think that exists in poker, and that's the next thing for the poker industry if someone can figure out how to do it. So that's like my dream is achievements and profiles and collectibles and like that sort of stuff.
Well, they've worked on that a bit on the app.
They have.
The mobile app.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fast forward, little spin action. Why not?
Yeah.
You can throw stuff.
You can pop champagne. It's cool. It's a little bit more gamified.
It is. Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a live poker hand here, Matt. We're going to go through it. All right, Matt. Hopping into a hand. We are 3 ways. Raise, call. Aces, ace 5, king jack. What are you doing? You're Frederick.
3 ways. I'm gonna bet big. 300,000.
It's like, do you get scared in a board like that? Because when I see it, I'm just like, okay. Like I'm happy now.
Yeah.
But like, if stuff goes down on the turn, I'm upset. So I'm like anticipating that.
Yeah, but I'm not scared on the flop though.
Right.
I really like the flop.
You're fine.
I'm betting big.
Okay.
But yeah, turn ruins everything. Yeah.
Roberto calls. Ace 5 suited. Do you like?
On
the button.
Do we suspect we're getting called?
Yeah, I mean, calling or raising is fine.
Yeah.
It's tough to say either or wrong.
No, Queen is going to look us up. Frederick did continue in this.
And Luigi, open ender,
A bit wary about him.
backdoor jack, high flush draw.
I would probably raise. I'd probably raise. The reason I'd raise is because with the button just calling, it's going to have a lot of weaker hands, and you do have a pretty nice bluff with the king jack. So I think with the overcall, I like a raise, actually.
It's tough to have queens or tens. Well, you can have tens or sevens, actually, in the big blind. That's true. You can have queen 10, you can have 10-7, queen 7. Yeah, true. And we are deep enough to... Well, he doesn't have that many chips to put pressure on. 945k back. There's only $1 million in the pot. It's tough to get folds if you're Luigi. Would you shove?
If you raise, I didn't even look at the stacks. I just assumed we were deep.
Okay.
I guess with that stack to par ratio, calling is probably pretty nice.
Frederick on the 4 hearts turn. Are you still happy? Still barrel?
Yeah, I really like the turn.
Half pot.
He's got 2.8 behind.
I'd go bigger.
Yeah,
I'd go bigger
I'd
here.
go bigger both on flop and turn. Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're probably not against a better hand at this point. Like, the 4 of hearts brings more draws in, but is a brick in relation to the rest of the board. No straights.
I think Button is going to have a really tough... Like, even if you went, like, 900,000, I think Button's going to have a really tough time folding a queen with all the draws up there.
Rips it in.
Oh, wow. Just ships it in.
Bananas. Potentially a set.
All right, so a bet of 600,000 into 1.2 million. So bets half pot, 3 ways. Roberto Romanello, pilecity.gov, ships it in. All you can eat.
I guess my question would be, what does the 4 give Roberto? Like, what connects with the 4?
Zilch, man.
He's not going to have any of those 2 pairs. He wouldn't call pre-flop, right?
Ace 4 spades hits a pair. Doesn't want to shove, though. Just calls.
No, and you're not worried about that. You have aces.
You're not worried about that.
Yeah.
You're loving life.
You love life. Yeah.
You're printing.
So yeah, unless you think that Roberto would call the flop with a set and wanted to shove on the turn, which I think most people would like raising the flop.
It's connected your 3 ways.
It's a really connected flop.
Yeah.
These guys are tricky though. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
They'll mix some stuff up. They'll sometimes sometimes no.
But I think it's just so hard for him to have a better hand than aces. He could have pocket 4s, but the call would be very questionable.
If I'm in the spot, I can't give him credit for queens.
No.
Can't give him credit for 10s or 7s.
Stare down from the suite.
Never 10-7, never queen 7. Queen 10, people can get weird with queen 10 sometimes, you know? Where it's just like, I'm going to call a top 2 and see a safe turn. Like, that's a live poker play sometimes.
Yeah, but look, I mean, but we can just maybe queen 10, but that's like the worst it gets for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think we're calling.
Can Roberto just call instead of shove here? Like, could he just call the 675 into 1.2 million?
Yeah.
Instead of move all in.
Yeah, I would.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I would call.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be rivers that, you know, even with hands like aces, Frederick's not going to want to go all in sometimes. And he's going to get there a certain percentage of the time. And maybe there's some coolers. You do have the nut flush draw. It's a big draw.
Yeah, like 20% you're going to get there. Your ace might be good. We can see it isn't, but it might be good sometimes. And you could bluff on a jack.
Yeah, I think that's a bit like having the ace high flush specifically, right? Because your opponent could bluff a weaker flush draw where ace high is good. A king jack and a jack 9 are both very obvious bluffs here.
Yeah.
So you're actually winning a lot against non-value hands. And your bluff potential on the river, if he checks, which, I mean, think about your own game. How often do you always triple barrel? No, you shut down a lot.
No, yeah.
So all those times, I mean, you have a decent shot. So I think calling is pretty good.
That's the last of it as far as his time extension cards go. So
if this was like a 9, I'd like going all in.
It's worth noting this is a 10K buy-in, 133 of 530 left. Like, it is different in reality. Like, you see this and you don't necessarily think through, like, what we just did.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just freeze up and be like, people don't bluff here. Like, they just shoved for his life.
Yeah.
Does that weigh in? Like, do you realistically think you'd call it off here in the spot? I don't know if I can just give a random person credit. Wow. And that's the fold, man.
Boom. Wow.
Do you give credit? Like, could you give credit here?
I think thinking about it where I'm looking at the hand from an outsider perspective, seeing both hands, like seeing what a bluff could be is so much easier to be like, this makes no sense. So yeah, I always give people playing live poker like wiggle room because it's just so much easier to think about it after the fact. But that's a pretty sick bluff.
It's incredible, man. Crazy. I mean, tough fold. I don't fault him for the folds. I mean, we got to analyze it. We got to see the whole cards.
Yeah.
Analyzing it, I think we should call, but like pretty difficult spot and sick bluff from Roberto Romanello. So
sick one,
there you go. Yeah. Matt, that's gonna be it for the interview section. We have some times with the family. We're on a little vacation here, spending some time. So off to see Edinburgh Castle tomorrow.
Very exciting.
Yeah, but thanks so much for taking the time on your off days, having a chat. Where can the people check you out, man? Plug all your stuff.
Check me out on Twitch, Matt Staples on Twitch.
Boom.
That's the main one. Twitter, Matt Staples Poker, Matt Staples PKR. Send me a tweet if you like the podcast, and Matthew Staples on YouTube.
Man, your YouTube's popping. People are loving
Yeah,
it.
YouTube's cool.
YouTube's
really cool. I'm trying to get better, post more videos. So yeah, it's a good spot.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Those of you out there watching the podcast, make sure you go give Matty a follow on those platforms. All right, man.
Thanks.
Till next time.
See you.
Big thanks to Matty Ice taking some time off our family vacation to talk with me about a little Twitch, about a little poker. True story. We used to have 3-4 hour conversations when we lived together about Twitch and poker. We just could go on all night. And that is kind of the case tonight. We've had a good long chat about it, but it was great to talk to him, and I know we'll have him back on the podcast soon. So for this week's JS Poker Hero, hashtag JS Poker Hero, we're going to give away a $215 Party Poker Million ticket, okay? Only one ticket. All you have to do to enter is use the hashtag JS Poker Hero and then enter on Twitter. You can @ me as well so I can see it. We can become friends or whatever. But we search by the hashtag. So I'm going to choose a Matty Ice question. And I don't know the answer yet, but I'm going to know pretty soon. The question is, what is my brother Matt's career longest drive on the golf course? And we're going to put it in yards. He's not going to know exactly. It might be 250 yards. It might be 330 yards. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I'll ask him what he thinks, and he'll give me an answer. So what do you think my brother Matt's career longest drive is on the golf course? That was our passion before we got into poker. That's going to be all this week for the weekly Poker Showdown. Thank you so much for watching it. We're going to actually have Elkie on next week, so I'm really excited about that. If you have some questions for Elkie, you can always tweet me at Jamie Staples. I'd love to hear what you want to ask him. That's going to be it for this week. Until next time, we'll see you later.